back to Din and Vixen. It's Kathy, and today I am going to do a get ready with me / tutorial on a look that I had in a previous video. I had a request to do a tutorial on it, and honestly I can't remember every single thing that I used in that particular video when I filmed it, but I did my very best to recreate that look for you today. So hopefully I can do that video justice by recreating that look, which is pretty much this look right here, as you can see. Now I say it's kind of an Elizabeth Hurley inspired look, and I only say that because I tend to do a lot of the winged liner now, and I've been watching the show The Royals, and gosh, Elizabeth Hurley, who I think is pretty much God's gift to men and I guess some women out there, who is just, oh my gosh, she is gorgeous, and she is, if she's not 50, she is almost 50 years old. And gosh, you know, if that's what 50 looks like, well then sign me up. One thing that stood out in the show is she wasn't doing the wing liner on the show. She was going for more of a smoky eye. So I thought, maybe I should try a smoky eye, which is what then kind of inspired me to go with a non-winged liner look and more of a smoky eye. So I'm not trying to look like Elizabeth Hurley, even though I would love to look just like her, but it's kind of more of that style of look as is what I'm going for today for you. So if you want to see how I did this, keep watching. The first thing I'm gonna do is start out with my Missha M Perfect Cover CC cream. This is in Honey Beige. I love this CC cream. I think it's the perfect color for people with yellow undertones or olive undertones in their skin. I always find that I like to use a little bit of primer with it, kind of mixed in, because I hate to use the primer first, because I feel like the CC cream has so many good products in it, ingredients, that I feel like they need to be absorbed into your skin. So if you use the primer first, they're not getting absorbed in. And then I've also tried putting the CC cream on first and then the primer on top, and then it just doesn't really work that way. So what I like to do is I like to mix them. So I feel like I'm getting the primer action along with the CC cream action all in one, and so I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the primer and put it right here, and I'm going to mix a drop of the CC cream. So as you can see, it's not a whole lot, but I'm just going to mix those two together. I'm going to just start by applying that all over. And I do apply this all over. Like I go all the way up my forehead, under my eyes. And I really feel like this gives a great base, a good foundation for your foundation. Also the rest of your makeup. And I really feel like your makeup lasts a lot longer when you use a primer. I tried for many years to go without a primer. I was not gonna buy it. I thought it was just a sales ploy just to get us to spend more money, but you know what? It really does work. It fills in those pores and just gives you a really nice canvas to work with. So your skin really does look smoother when you use a primer. So I'm all primed and ready to go. Thank goodness, because this is a scary look, right? Next up, foundation, my favorite, Pur Minerals. I use the medium dark. It's a compact mineral foundation, so it is a powder. And I showed you this brush a couple of weeks ago in a haul. This is from Target. This is the Up and Up. I don't know if it's a foundation brush, complexion brush. I think it's called the complexion brush. But this, oh my gosh, is this not the bargain of the century? This is the best brush, especially for applying your Pur Minerals foundation. So I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to start applying. I always kind of like to start right here in the hollows of my cheeks. I don't know why, I just do. I feel like I kind of need the most help there. Because as you can see, I still have a little bit of hyperpigmentation, despite all of the lovely peels that I've been doing and all the work that I've been doing in the sunscreen and then the, oh gosh, the Beige. I still have a little bit of discoloration. So I still feel like I can just cover that up. I don't know if it'll ever go away completely, but it's definitely lightened up with all the treatments. However, I still want to use my foundation just to kind of even everything out. And I also don't feel like it's so obvious that I'm not going to go out in public without makeup. A lot of times I do go out in public without makeup. I know. I hate to admit that, but I do. Many days do I go out without makeup on, but that's just the way it is. But when I do put my makeup on, this is how I do it. So I'm putting this right here too on my lids. It gives that a really nice little primer to work with. And since I'm not on set for a movie or a big photo shoot for Vogue magazine, I don't want to look too made up. So I think this is just enough coverage to get me through a normal day without looking like a total makeup face. I'll still look like a makeup face, but not overly done, too thick. So I think this is going to be enough just to get through a normal day. Now I'm going to use a little bit of concealer because we got to conceal a couple spots here. Now I'm using my hard Candy Glamoflauge concealer in tan. This is it. And I just put a tiny bit right here on, this is kind of the area that I always work with. I always put different things I'm going to mix together. I don't know why I do that, but I think it might be because when I did work for a cosmetics company, that's kind of how we applied makeup to people. We always use this little area to mix and blend and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I guess that old habits die. I'm going to put a little bit of concealer. I like to use this finger, my ring finger. So, okay, so I've got a little concealer on there, a little concealer on here. I might be overdoing it a little bit since I'm making a video, but oh well. But I definitely want to cover up this little, I've got some hyperpigmentation here that I like to cover up. And I don't know why that's there. I'm almost wondering if it's because this side of my face gets the most sun when I'm driving. Even though I hardly ever have my windows open, I think the sun's rays can still get through the windows of your car. And I always like to cover up my little scar because I'm still waiting for that to go away. Might be disappointed that it might never go away. Okay. Now I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to blend it out. I'm not really even blending it. I'm just like bouncing it. I'm just kind of tapping it in. All right, now that I've got my concealer on, I'm going to go back over it real quick with just a little bit of foundation. Just tap, 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 tap. And that kind of just sets it in place just a little bit. Now we're moving on to contour. My NYX Highlight and Contour Compact. And I don't know if I've shown this to you or not. I probably have, but as you can see, it's just a nice contour and a highlight all in one kit. I've seen all those other nice highlighting and contouring kits that have several shades, but I always find when I use those, I use the same shades over and over again, and basically the shades that I'm using are these two. But I'm going to use my Real Techniques brush. I don't remember which one this is. You guys probably know, but it's kind of a smaller one. And I'm just going to use the contour right here. I'm going to contour my cheekbones, making sure that I blend it really well. It's funny because on camera it always looks more dramatic than it really is in real life when I'm looking in the mirror right here. So when I go back and watch this, I'll be like, oh my gosh, that looks like a big old line. But it really isn't this dark, but oh well. That's just the way it is. But I'm going to blend it as well as I can right here. And then I'm going to take a little bit here. I'm going to contour right around my jawline. This kind of helps your jowls if you have jowls. I'm not really jowly yet, but I kind of see some starting to form. And then I'm going to hit this little area here. I don't know why they say to contour this area, but I do. I just hit the hairline. Okay, so there's the face. Now I'm going to take this smaller brush. This is a Coastal Scents. I think this is maybe a crease brush. I'm not 100% sure, but you can kind of see the size of it. I'm not gonna go through and tell you every single brush that I'm using because honestly, I don't know every single brush that I'm using. I just grab the first brush that I see that looks like it's gonna work for what I need to do. So, like I said, this looks like some sort of a Coastal Scents crease brush. I'm gonna go back in with my dark contour. I always like to blow it too. I don't know why. And I'm gonna contour my nose just a tad, just to narrow it out a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of blend that in. As much as I love brushes, sometimes fingers work just as well. Gave myself a little bit of a nose job there. See, that kind of made it a little narrower looking, I think. Kind of sculpted it a little bit. Now I'm going to go back with the lighter one right here. I'm just going to hit the top of my nose, go right down the center. Definitely brightens up the face, doesn't it? Just brightens it up a little bit. Now I think I'm going to hit just the top of my cheekbones with the highlight as well. So I'm just going to use that same brush that I used for the contour. I'm just going to kind of go right along the top of my cheek there. It gives it just a tiny bit of highlight, so you do look a little luminous. The blush I'm going to use today is Pandora's blush. This was a sample in one of my Ipsy Glam bags. It looks like this. The color is called Carnation, Pink Carnation. Look how pretty that is. And this is going to go really well with the look that I'm trying to achieve today. So we're just going to grab my blush brush. This is another brush that I got in my Ipsy Glam bag. This is by Luxe Brushes. I'm just going to apply just a tad, not too much, because I don't want a dramatic cheek. In fact, I got a little too much on there, so I'm going to pat some of that off, and I'm going to try to blend that so that it's just a faint hint of blush. I always like to hit the apples of my cheeks. Now I'm looking at it, to me in the monitor it looks brighter than it does in my mirror right here. So I'm going to try to blend that down because I just think that looks too bright. So I'm going to use my Real Techniques buffing brush and I'm just going to try to buff that out just a little bit because I really don't want to have just bright pink cheeks. I just want a hint of pink. I want a hint of a blush. I just buff that out there. And then I'm gonna highlight it just a hint one more time with, this is my Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana. I think everybody has this one. I love to use this one. It's a bronzer, but that's not bronze, is it? I like to use this as a highlighter. And I'm gonna just go over that real quick. So there. So to me, that's a perfect cheek. Okay, so now let's move on to the eyes. So I do like to start with a pretty good foundation, like a good base coat for my eyeshadow. I believe it really helps the eyeshadow to stay in place a little longer. And it really, I think it helps with the mattes. I love matte eyeshadow, which is what I'm using today. And it really gives it something to cling to so it doesn't look quite as chalky as some mattes could look. So here it is. It's called Eye on the Prize. It's a nice, I'd say kind of a neutral nude color. It's got a hint of shimmer, just a hint, because when you are over 40, you don't want to put too much shimmer on your eyes, but a hint is okay. This is, what did I say? Eye on the Prize. It's an eyeshadow chubby from Flower. Flower is Drew Barrymore's cosmetic line that's sold exclusively at Walmart. I never really go to Walmart, but I will go to Walmart for Drew Barrymore's cosmetics, or at least these, because I think these are worth the drive, because Walmart's not really close to where I live. I'm gonna start by basically just applying this all over my lid. And I really do think this is going to be a nice base. Okay, so as you can see, it's just a very, very subtle hint of color, but I'm not really doing it for the color. I'm basically just using it for the eyeshadow. And this is my absolute favorite matte eyeshadow collection. I find I'm wearing this almost daily. It's the Meet Matte Nudes, and as you can see, we've got all these gorgeous colors in there. And today I'm going to be using Matte Malloy. We're going to be meeting Matte Malloy over here. It's this white one. We're also going to be meeting Matte Abdul and Matte Hung. Whenever I see that, I always think of William Hung from American Idol. Remember William Hung, and he did that version of She Bangs. I'm going to start with my Real Techniques crease brush. I don't really think this is a crease brush. This is the biggest crease brush I've ever seen, but I do think it's a good brush for all over your eyelid. So we're going to start with your Matte Malloy, which is the white, and we are just going to apply that to the whole lid area to get all the way right here into the inner corners of my eye. I think this really brightens up that eye area. Doesn't it look bright? Okay, let's take it up a notch. Okay, now I'm going back in with another crease brush. This is a little bit of a longer, thinner crease brush. I'm kind of into crease brushes right now, in case you can't tell. But I don't know what brand this is. I bought this at Ross, and I think it's just like one of their brands that they sell. So I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to use the Matte Abdul right now. And I'm going to take Matte Mr. Abdul, and I'm going to work on that crease right there. You see that starting to take form now? Not looking so, I don't know what the word is, scary? Okay, so now that I'm trying to remember how I created the look that I did for that other video, I'm just going to kind of try to blend that just a tad down into the eyelid. Okay, so I've got highlighter, the lid, clean it up a little bit. Now I've got a little eyeshadow on my lid, so I'm looking a little more alive here. Now I'm going to take my Makeup Artist crease brush. This is the one that I purchased at CVS. I think this is probably my favorite crease brush that I have so far. I love the size of it. I just think it doesn't have too many bristles. It has just enough, and it's just long enough that you get some movement in there that really makes it easy to work on your creases. So I'm going to go back and use Matte Hung. Just kind of a, oh, I don't know, what's the color? It's a purplish, kind of a purplish brownish. And I'm going to take Matte, and I'm going to just work on the outer V. And because I'm not doing a cat eye today, I'm really kind of working on keeping my eye a little more rounded. So I'm trying not to go too far outside of the eyebrow area, even though I'm trying to just kind of keep it lined up anyway. Sometimes when I do a cat eye, I go way out or way up. But today I'm really trying to keep everything in and contained in this little area. So we're going to work on this V over here. As you can see, I'm just coming up. Okay, so the main eyeshadow part is done. Now I'm just going to go back in with some small details with the liners. I'm going to take this very, very small brush. This is a brush, very, very small. I don't know what it's normally for, but I'm going to use it for some detailing. And I'm going to take a little more of my Matte Hung, and I'm going to bring him all the way down underneath my eye. I'm going to line my upper lids just a little bit because I'm going to use a pencil liner today. And I find that it clings a little better to your eyelid if you have a little bit of powder. It gives it something to hold on to. Okay, now I have the Maybelline Line Express. This is just a, I guess it's a kohl liner. It's just an eyeliner. It's in black and it's got this little smudging tip, which is gonna help with the smudging, just kind of to give me a little more of a smoky eye. So I'm just gonna take the liner and I'm just going to make a very, very tight line right here on the lid. Okay, I'm not bringing it out. I might do just a tiny, tiny little bit of an upturned wing right on the corner, but tiny, tiny. I don't really want a wing on this. All right, I'm gonna take it just a little under my eyes. I'm all lined. I'm gonna take the smudger and I'm just gonna start smudging that. So let's just start by smudging from the outside. I'm gonna start by working in, outside in. I'm just gonna smudge, 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 smudge. This is kind of a challenge for me because I don't have my glasses on and I'm working with one eye here because the other one's closed. Okay, so there's my smoky eye. I'm gonna clean it up just a little tiny bit around the edges. And I think I'm gonna try to kind of set that just a little bit. So I'm gonna go back with my very, very small brush. Okay, so I'm back to this little tiny brush again. Once again, don't remember what it's called. And I think I'm gonna go back with just a little bit of the Matte Johnson and just set it. It's a nice gray color and I think it'll just kind of give it a little more dimension without giving it too much drama. I can pull it down just a little bit. I think I'll work on my eyebrows next, and my eyebrows are pretty simple. I've kind of been looking at them. They're kind of not really even. I've got to work on getting them more even. So I'm just going to brush them just a tad, and then I'm going to grab my Maybelline eyebrow pencil. I use dark brown, and I'm just going to start filling them in just a little bit. Basically, when I fill them in, I kind of go over a little the top there, and then I go back and clean it up because sometimes I go way over the top. And I just want to give it a nice little arch. Probably should use a setting gel to kind of set everything into place, but I didn't bring one to my table when I decided to make this video, so I am not going to stop to go get it. I'm just going to keep on going. Sometimes when I do my brows, I tend to get the color a little down into the eye area, so I'm going to go back with a little more of my Matte Malloy and just basically shape that up again. Not only is it kind of giving it a little more shape, it's disguising my eyebrow pencil mistakes. Huh, imagine. I'm going to blend that out just a little bit. And voila, perfect. Or as perfect as I'm going to get today. Okay, so now let me show you my favorite new mascara cocktail. I have done a video and showed you how much I absolutely love the Younique Moonstruck 3D lashes. I love, love, love this formula. However, I have added an extra step to it because, you know, 2 steps just isn't enough. I added a 3rd step. Actually, this is the 1st step. So this is my new favorite mascara. If I'm not wanting the dramatic lashes and if I'm just wanting kind of an everyday look, I will just use this on its own. This is the L'Oreal, which one is it? The Telescopic Shocking Extensions. And this is a really, really nice mascara. I absolutely love this brush. I love that it's not too thick. And you can just really, really get down into the lash area. And it just clings. It just, I don't know, it just goes on so nice and smooth. So I'm going to put this on both of my lashes first. Then I'm going to go back with the Younique Moonstruck 3D fiber lashes. And if you don't have the Younique 3D Moonstruck fiber lashes because yes, I know they can be a little pricey. There's some other brands that are very similar that work almost as well. And I suppose if you're doing this technique, they'll probably be just fine. There's one called Love Alpha, which I've done a video on that. Oh, look at that, I got it right there. Okay, let's take that off. Gotta wipe that off before it dries. So the Love Alpha, which is really, really nice. I buy that off of Amazon. It's a great 2-part fiber lash system. And then Physicians Formula has a new one too, which I can't remember what they're called, but they are nice. And I think they come out looking really, really good. The problem with that one is the application process is a little messy. For some reason, the fibers get all over the place. And I don't know why. I don't know why they get all over the place with that one, but they don't with the Younique. So maybe it's a different kind of fiber. I don't know. But I find I've got to brush a lot of that off. And sometimes it gets in your eyes and the eye, you know, that doesn't feel very good. Then you feel like you've got something in your eye for the rest of your day and you're just winking at everybody. And as much as I do like everybody, I don't love them all enough to wink at them. I'm going to go back with the transplanting gel. As you can see, it looks like that. And we'll just go through this. If you want to see how this process works, I will link that video below. Now I'm going to go back, I'm going to hit the under eye area again with my Hard Candy Glamoflauge concealer on to kind of just brighten up that area just a tad. Might be a little overkill, but I think it just definitely brightens up your eyes a little bit. After I've applied my last layer of concealer, I like to set it with just a little bit of powder. So I discovered this Physicians Formula powder. You can see it came from CVS. This is the Mineral Wear powder. It's in a compact, it's talc free, and it has SPF 30, which is actually great for the under eye area. And this is in beige. So let's just tap, 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 tap. I really think it keeps that concealer in place. Concealer, a lot of times, especially around your eyes, I don't know if your eyes water, it sometimes kind of moves around, or if it's really hot. But that really is going to help it stay in place and just keep your eyes looking fresh all day, fresh and bag free. We don't want bags, do we? Okay, so now we're on to the lips. Now, I cannot remember which lipstick I used for that particular video, but I think I used either the Milani Nude Cream, which looks like this, because I remember I used kind of a mauvey pinkish natural color, or I used the Wet n Wild Mega Last, and I want to say this is called Bare It All. So they're kind of similar. I'd actually say they're very, very similar in color, and so you can kind of see the difference there. Similar. I didn't say exactly, but similar. So I think I'm going to use the Milani because I'm really liking the consistency of that. It's a little bit of a creamier consistency. But I'm going to start with my favorites lip liner. My favorite lip liner is the Wet n Wild Brandywine. They used to have so many different colors. Now I'm only finding 2. So it's the Brandywine and the, I can't think of the, Chestnut is the other color. So that makes it a heck of a lot easier. I guess they figured that those 2 colors should coordinate with almost every single lipstick they have. So I'm going to start by lining my lips. I line them here. I start right here on the corner and I work my way up to the bow. And yes, I do tend to overline my lips a little bit. I was told by a YouTuber that I needed to stop lining the outside of my lips. So I'm trying to stay as far as I can inside my lip line. But I do like the look of fuller lips. And I think you can get your lips to look a little fuller if you just line slightly outside of your lip line. However, all right, so the lips are lined. I'm going to go back straight from the tube with my Milani. I'm just gonna fill them in. Isn't really rocket science. Putting lipstick on. Now I kind of feel like I want to give it just a little more oomph. So I don't think I had lip gloss on the day that I made that video, but I am going to use a little bit today. And I have this lip gloss. It's from a kit that I purchased at Costco, the Patti Dubroff Cosmetic Collection. This one is called Sprite. I love the color, and I think it'll be really, really pretty on top of the Milani. What color did I call that? The Nude Cream. And oh yeah, it's just very faint. It's not a super glossy lip gloss. So this can just give it a little bit of, oh, I don't know, just that little something extra. And because it is spring, we're going into summer, I like to give my face just a tiny, tiny bit more color. So I'm gonna use my Physicians Formula bronzer. This is in bronze color. And I actually love it because it's got all the different colors in there. It's got the pinks, the different bronzes, the golds, and you can just swirl them all together and just brush them over your face. It's called Happy Booster. So I think if you use this, you'll be very, very happy. So I have my e.l.f. powder brush that I'm going to use here. I'm just going to swirl all the colors together, blow it, and I'm just going to just hit my face. And it kind of sets my makeup just a tad, but also just gives it a little bit of color. And I'm going to bring that down my neck just a tad, just so that I don't have a completely different colored neck than my face. So there you go. What do you think? I've got my hair, I've got my makeup, I've got kind of a little more of a smoky eye looking. I hope I was able to recreate that look for you. If not, it is a very similar look. You know, my looks are never, I don't think I've ever got two looks that are completely identical, but anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you like my channel and haven't already, please subscribe and leave me a comment. I always love hearing from you. If you have any suggestions for any new video ideas, please feel free to let me know. I am kind of looking for some good material, some good ideas for future videos. I'm trying to control my spending, so the hauls are hopefully gonna be a little more controlled. So I need more tutorials and ideas like that. Or if you want to see more day in the life or whatever, let me know. I'll try to accommodate your needs if possible. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I most certainly enjoyed spending time with you, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching.